Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the most critical financial pitfalls that young adults face, and more importantly, the power-ups you can use to actually secure your future. You know, your 20s are such a defining decade. It's a time of absolutely incredible opportunity, but it's also a window where just a few simple misunderstandings about money can cost you dearly over the long haul.
Okay, so let's kick things off with a pretty tough question. Are you simply making money just to spend it immediately? It's a trap that is so easy to fall into, right? Especially when you start seeing those first real paychecks. You earn, you consume, you wait for the next paycheck, and then you just repeat the whole cycle. Well, today, we're going to break down exactly why this happens, and more importantly, how to escape it.
To do that, we're going to map out the financial foundation you need across four distinct phases: mindset traps, spending and debt traps, psychological traps, and finally, growth traps.
So let's jump right into Section 1, Mindset Traps. Specifically, we'll look at confusing income with wealth and ignoring financial education.
You see, so often we confuse having a high income with actually being wealthy. We see a big paycheck and we instantly think, hey, I've made it. But true wealth isn't about how much you make. It's really about what you keep. If you're a high earner but you're constantly spending tomorrow's money today, you aren't actually building wealth. You're really just facilitating a highly expensive lifestyle. Accumulating assets, minus your liabilities, and prioritizing long-term security over immediate spending, that is the actual reality of wealth building. And compounding this whole mindset trap is a lack of proper financial education. I mean, we live in a digital world that's just overflowing with incredibly complex, often uninsured financial products. Ignoring your financial education is a massive mistake when you're trying to navigate this maze. Plus, social media is totally flooded with finfluencers, people who are often literally paid by financial firms to market specific products, rather than giving you sound, objective advice. So it's absolutely vital to seek out unbiased, reliable knowledge, instead of just blindly following the latest online trend. Next up is Section 2, Spending and Debt Traps. We're talking budgets, emergencies, and credit, where day-to-day choices can accidentally build a giant mountain of financial stress. The really crucial point here is that relying way too much on credit traps you on this completely exhausting earn and consume treadmill. Research actually shows an alarmingly large number of households are entirely debt dependent. They're living paycheck to paycheck, constantly digging into savings, and leaning heavily on credit cards just to fund a lifestyle that looks wealthy from the outside. But when you do this, your hard-earned money instantly vanishes to pay off high interest costs, basically keeping you running in place but never actually moving forward. To escape that treadmill, you've got to stop living without a plan. The solution? It's a real game changer called reverse budgeting. So instead of spending your money and then just saving whatever happens to be left over, you completely flip the script. You treat saving as a fixed, mandatory expense. You set aside money for your future self first before you spend on anything else. Track where your money is going, groceries, bills, the fun stuff, and then automate your savings. When it's automated, you don't even have to rely on willpower. The money is just safely tucked away before you even have a chance to spend it. Now, the ultimate cure for this financial vulnerability is building a proper emergency fund. Because let's face it, life is going to throw you curveballs. A car breaks down, a random medical bill pops up. If you don't have a rainy day fund, just cash set aside in a regular bank or credit union, you're going to be forced to swipe a credit card to cover those unexpected expenses. Building that cash buffer is absolutely crucial. It protects you from spiraling into high-interest debt and genuinely provides incredible peace of mind. All right, moving on to our third section, psychological traps, and specifically, escaping the hedonic treadmill. This is where we shine a light on the hidden social and emotional pressures that secretly drain our bank accounts. As you earn more money in your 20s, it is just so tempting to upgrade your life, right? You get a raise, so suddenly you want a nicer apartment, a fancier car, more expensive dinners. This is what's called lifestyle creep. But it's tied to something psychologists call the hedonic treadmill. Basically, our brains very quickly adapt to new luxuries. That shiny new purchase gives you a quick hit of joy, sure, but very soon it just becomes your new normal. So no matter how much more you spend, your baseline happiness stays exactly the same. It is a dangerous trap where you're spending progressively more money just to feel the exact same level of satisfaction. This quote from the incredible book The Millionaire Next Door really hits the nail on the head. Trying to keep up with the Joneses, or even relying on parental gifts and economic outpatient care to artificially fund a luxury lifestyle, is a massive psychological trap. You're basically competing in a game that has no finish line. True financial empowerment actually comes from resisting those external social pressures, stepping away from financial dependency, and aligning your spending with your genuine needs rather than what society expects of you. Finally, let's explore Section 4, Growth Traps. We're looking at early investing, fees, and scams. This is where procrastination and a lack of awareness can literally cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Listen, one of the biggest mistakes you can possibly make in your 20s is waiting too long to invest. It all comes down to compound growth. Think of it like the snowball effect. If you pack a snowball and roll it down a really long hill, it picks up more and more snow with every single rotation, gathering massive momentum. Well, your money does the exact same thing if you invest it and just leave it alone. The return on your investment starts earning its own return. But the absolutely key ingredient here is the length of the hill, which is time. To put that into perspective, just look at the stark reality of this data. Imagine your goal is to have $500,000 by age 65. If you start investing at age 18, it only takes $127 a month. But if you wait until you're 35, that monthly burden jumps to $441. Waiting to invest makes the journey incredibly expensive. Starting early makes it so much cheaper and easier, simply because time is doing all the heavy lifting for you. Now, when you finally do put your money to work, you've got to avoid the trap of high investment fees. Actively managed funds rely on human managers who try to pick winning stocks. They charge high fees, and there's actually a really high risk of them underperforming the market. Contrast that with index funds. These are low-cost, transparent funds that just track a broad basket of companies. Because they're automated, the fees are tiny. And over the long term, this simple buy-and-hold strategy almost always beats paying expensive humans who are just trying to guess the future. Seriously, don't let fees eat your wealth. And before we wrap up, we absolutely cannot ignore the danger of scams online. Get this, it is a massive shocker, but government data shows that young adults ages 20 to 29 actually lose money to fraud more often than people over 70. No way, right? But because young people are early adopters of complex, often unregulated digital products, they make prime targets. So please, always verify the credibility of your financial advice. Be incredibly skeptical of flashy influencers, and always rely on impartial, trusted sources. So all of this builds to one final essential takeaway. To avoid all these traps, the overspending, the lifestyle creep, the high-risk financial gambles, I want you to ask yourself this one simple, provocative question. What is your enough? If you can define what enough looks like for your own genuine independence and happiness, you won't fall victim to the endless treadmill of wanting more. You'll be completely free to save, invest, and build a truly unshakable financial future. So keep learning, keep questioning, and start building your wealth today.